Iran fires powerful missiles across the region as the US attempts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Oil leaders warn of catastrophe ahead as world leaders turn to nuclear power. You may already be feeling the impact this war is having on your daily life. If you're not hearing the sound of missiles overhead, you're seeing it reflected at the gas pump. That might only be getting worse.
The attacks on energy facilities that has happened also on both sides is a dangerous precedent.
All those that called during the last days for de-escalation are ensuring escalation.
The Strait of Hormuz is quickly becoming the central focus in this war, and there's a reason for this. By claiming to control this key waterway, Iran is shutting off a fifth of the world's oil and gas supplies from these 5 countries. That's already created a global energy crisis, pushing up not only the price of oil, but food, transportation, and basic commodities. Plastics, aluminium, fertilizer, all things made using oil and gas. Now, Saudi Arabia and the UAE are the only 2 countries that are prepared for this. They have pipelines that go to the Red Sea and the Gulf of Oman. Saudi can transport up to 7 million barrels to its refineries in Yanbu, but it's not enough. The CEO of Saudi Aramco, the world's biggest oil manufacturer, says there are more than 350 million barrels that have been wiped off the global energy market. And that is going to lead to a catastrophe if Iran continues to block the Strait of Hormuz. So how is Iran actually doing this? One way is naval power, but that leaves Iran's vessels open to attack. In fact, the US claims to have already destroyed Iran's entire fleet. Another way is by laying sea mines across the strait and then using its missile launchers to attack any vessel that tries to cross. This is what the US believes Iran is doing now, and it stepped up its attacks on small boats it says are carrying mines. According to the US president, 10 of these boats have already been destroyed. The US has also eased sanctions restrictions on Russian energy to allow some of its allies like India to replace up to half its natural gas. Many of these sanctions have been in place since the invasion of Ukraine. Back then, Europe and Asia were forced to look for alternatives to Russian gas, and many turned to Qatar. That is, until its facilities were hit. On the 2nd of March, Qatar's state energy company shut down its gas facility completely, declaring a force majeure to its energy clients, meaning its buyers would get nothing. And that has meant that one of the biggest winners of this war so far has been Vladimir Putin.
Подчеркну, Россия выступает, еще раз скажу об этом, надежным поставщиком энергоносителей. Так было всегда.
So what's been Europe's response? Nuclear power. At the second nuclear energy summit in Paris on Tuesday, EU leaders pledged to invest more into nuclear energy. French President Emmanuel Macron last week signaled he was building more nuclear weapons to compete with China, and now wants his government to go all in on nuclear energy. That's all from me today. Stay with us on Al Jazeera for all you need to know about the war in Iran.